The arena roared with laughter. Alien nobles sat in high crystal chairs sipping glowing drinks. All eyes were on the center ring where a human boy stood alone, dirty, thin, barefoot. His name was Liam. Chains hung from his wrists. His skin was bruised. His head was down. He didn't move. Across from him stood a giant alien beast, 12 feet tall, 4 arms, tusks like blades. The crowd shouted, "Crush the weakling." And above them all, sitting on her golden throne, was Princess Xyrella, the tallest, most feared royal on this side of the galaxy. Her skin shimmered like polished stone. Her crown had living snakes made of light. She leaned forward and laughed. "A human again?" she said, loud enough for all to hear. "He'll last 5 seconds." The crowd laughed harder. Liam didn't react. He just stared at the sand. The arena gate slammed shut. A bell rang. The beast charged. The ground shook, but Liam didn't run. At the last second, he rolled to the side. Sand flew. The beast missed. The crowd paused. Xyrella blinked. Liam grabbed a sharp bone from the floor, maybe left by a dead slave before him, and threw it. The bone stabbed into the beast's eye. It screamed. Now the crowd was quiet. Liam picked up a broken spear. His hands trembled, but his eyes were sharp, cold. The beast swung its claws, but Liam ducked, slashed its leg, and jumped back. 2 more hits. Then 3. Blood poured. Alien blood, not Liam's, and then, with one last strike, the beast fell, dead. The arena froze in silence. Liam stood tall, chest rising and falling fast. He was still breathing. He was still standing. Xyrella slowly stood up, her lips no longer smiling. She clapped once, then again. The nobles followed her, clapping slowly, unsure if they were supposed to enjoy this or be afraid. Xyrella's voice echoed through the arena. "Interesting," she said. "The little human has teeth." Liam looked up at her. For the first time, their eyes met. He didn't smile, he didn't bow, he just turned his back and walked toward the slave gates without waiting for permission. Gasps echoed. Xyrella's eyes narrowed. Later that night, in her private chamber, she watched the replay. Again and again. Zoomed into Liam's face. He was calm, controlled, not angry, not wild. Different, strange. A knock at the door. It was her general. "He refused food," the general said. "Told the guards he'll eat only when he's free." Xyrella raised an eyebrow. "And we allowed that?" "We didn't stop him," the general said. "Something about him." "Enough," she snapped. She walked to the window. The city lights stretched far below. She remembered humans. Weak, emotional, always begging. But this one? This Liam, he didn't beg, he didn't even look scared. He looked like he was waiting for something, or maybe someone. Back in the slave pits, Liam sat alone in a dark corner. Other aliens whispered near him, nervous. "That human, he killed a brag beast with just a bone and stick." Did you see his eyes? Like frost, but Liam said nothing. He cleaned the bone weapon, quietly, patiently. He knew they were watching. He knew Xyrella would come, let her laugh, let her mock him again. Because next time, he wouldn't just win, he would break the cage. The next morning, the arena doors creaked open again. Liam stood in the center. Once more, no chains this time, no guards pulling him. He had walked in by himself. The crowd returned louder than before. Some came to see him die, others came to see him win again. But on the royal platform, Princess Xyrella leaned forward, her face harder than before. No smile this time, no laugh, just sharp, calculating eyes. She had planned something different, something cruel. The arena floor rumbled. A metal gate rose. Out stepped a new challenger, a battle bot. Not a beast, not a living thing, but a K-91 shock droid, forbidden in most systems. It had spinning arms, laser eyes, and energy blades for hands. Liam tilted his head. So, she was done playing games. The droid's blades lit up, humming with plasma. It rolled fast, carving lines in the sand as it rushed toward him. The crowd screamed. Liam ran. The bot sliced the air behind him, inches from his back. Sparks flew. Sand burned. Liam grabbed a small chain from the ground, useless, but it was all he had. He waited by the wall. The droid charged again. At the last second, Liam dropped low and slid under the spinning blades. He grabbed something. A handle, buried in the dirt. It was old, rusted, but it pulsed with energy. the moment his fingers touched it. The arena lights blinked. The crowd gasped. He had touched a royal plasma. Spear, a weapon made only for Zarellas. Bloodline, only a royal could activate it, only a royal could survive its heat. Liam held it, and it turned on. Blue fire lit the arena. A loud boom shook the stands. Zarella stood up. Her guards rushed forward. Her mouth opened, but no words came. Liam didn't hesitate. The spear sang in his hand, and in one smooth motion, he spun and sliced the droid in half. It exploded behind him. The fire curled up into the sky. The crowd stood. Not one person clapped. Not yet. They just stared. Liam lowered the spear. Smoke curled from his palm. He didn't drop it. The arena was dead silent. Zarella stared at him like he was a ghost. That weapon had killed hundreds who weren't royal. It rejected the strong. It burned the wrong, but not Liam. Later that night, in her throne room, Zarella paced. How is that possible? She barked. Her engineers shook their heads. It only activates with royal DNA, one said. He's not royal, another whispered. He's not even from this planet. But he held it, Zarella said, eyes locked on the replay. He wielded it. Her general spoke slowly. There's one explanation. She turned. Speak. The ancient texts, he said. The one about the outsider who would rise from the pits. The one with fire in his veins. She threw her goblet. Fairy tales, she shouted. But in her mind she wasn't so sure anymore. Meanwhile, deep below the palace in the slave barracks, the air was thick. Liam sat by the wall, the spear still in his hands. Even burnt and battered, it hummed like it knew him. Other slaves stared from corners, whispering in fear and awe. Did you see? He's not just a human. He's something more. No one should be able to use that weapon. Liam finally spoke, his voice low, calm. I didn't come here to fight, he said. But if she keeps pushing, I will burn it all. A female slave stepped forward. You've made her afraid, she said. No one has ever done that. Liam looked up. She should be, he whispered. Back in the palace, Zarella stood on her balcony, watching stars blink above the dark city. She touched the scar on her arm, a childhood burn from that very spear. Even she had barely survived it. But Liam? He held it like it belonged to him, and for the first time in her life. She felt small. The torches flickered in the deep slave pits beneath the arena. It was cold, always cold. But that night, something felt different. There was no laughter, no crying, no begging, only whispers, and every whisper carried the same name. Liam. He sat in silence, resting against the stone wall, the burned royal spear still resting near his side. It didn't hum anymore, but it hadn't turned to ash either. That alone was enough to spread fear through the whole palace. A group of alien slaves gathered near the corners of the pit, sharp-eared workers from the mines, wide-eyed reptilian cooks, even the small green stable boys, all watching him. He held the spear. It should have killed him. No human can do that. Liam heard every word but didn't look up. He was waiting. He didn't know for what. But something was coming. He felt it in his bones. Meanwhile, above the pits, the royal halls weren't quiet either. Princess Zarella stood at her war table. Her generals, nobles, and high guards surrounded her, arguing. He is dangerous, one said. He must be killed at once. After what he did to the droid, after holding the royal spear, another snapped. Who will kill him, you? Zarella slammed her fist down. He is a human, she barked. A pet species. He eats scraps and sleeps on stone. Don't forget that. But even she heard the doubt in her own voice. One noble, old and wise, leaned forward. I read the old records, he said. From before the wars, before the Great Purge, there were humans like this. Rare, but real. What do you mean? Zarella asked, narrowing her glowing eyes. They called them earthborn sparks, he said. They don't follow orders. They don't die easy. And when they rise, they make kings kneel. The room went quiet. Zarella's lips pressed into a thin line. And if he is one? She asked. Then we're already too late. the old noble whispered. Back in the pits, a small alien girl, barely 10, approached Liam. Her hands were shaking. A bruise darkened her neck. She held out a piece of bread. He looked at it. "You hungry?" she asked softly. Liam nodded once. He took it, broke it in half, and gave the bigger piece back. The girl blinked. "You're not like the others." "I'm not here to be like anyone," Liam said, chewing slowly. "I'm here because she laughed one too many times." "Princess Xyrella?" Liam looked up. "No, all of them." Later, that night in the sleeping quarters, an alien male, big and horned, stood in front of the slaves. He was once a guard, demoted, disgraced, but now he spoke with purpose. "The human woke something," he said. "We've waited for a sign, this is it." Some nodded, others looked afraid. "We have no weapons," one whispered. "No power." But the horned one pointed to Liam. "We have him." In the control room above, a guard secretly watched the pit camera. He saw the gathering, heard the talk. His finger hovered over the alarm button, but he didn't press it. He just stared at Liam, who sat calmly, back against the wall, eyes half closed. He looked peaceful and powerful. The guard whispered to himself, "He's not just a slave anymore." In the early morning, when the guards came to fetch the next fighters, they found something odd. A mark on the wall, scratched in stone by someone's nail. It was a circle, with fire rising from it, a human symbol. The sun, Liam's old sun, and below it, in simple alien script, "He who burns will rise." Princess Xyrella was shown the image. She stared at it for a long time. "What does it mean?" a guard asked. Xyrella turned away. "It means," she whispered, "they've started believing in him." The royal hall was empty except for torches burning blue. The air smelled like metal and rain. Liam stood in the center, his wrists unchained for the first time since his capture. His skin was bruised, his clothes torn, but his eyes, cold, steady, unbroken, never moved from the golden throne in front of him. And on that throne sat Princess Xyrella, dressed in silver armor that shimmered like moonlight. Her long crown curved behind her head like sharp wings. Tonight she wasn't laughing. She was curious. "You should have died," she said quietly. "When you held the spear, it should have burned you to ash." Liam said nothing. Xyrella tilted her head, studying him. "You don't look like a monster. You look ordinary. Yet the arena trembled for you." Liam's voice was calm. "Maybe you don't understand humans." "I understand enough," she said, rising from the throne. "You are fragile, weak, and when we mock you, you kneel." "Do I look like I'm kneeling?" he asked. Xyrella's eyes flashed. A strange silence filled the hall. For a long moment they stared at each other, an alien queen of fire and a human of steel. Then she did something no one expected. She smiled. "You interest me, human," she said. "You've become the talk of my world. The slaves whisper your name. The nobles fear you, and my generals think I should kill you. But I—" She walked down the stairs slowly, each step echoing through the room. "I think you should serve me." Liam raised an eyebrow. "Serve you?" "Yes," she said, stopping in front of him. "Not as a slave, not as a fighter, as my right hand." Liam almost laughed. "You mocked me in front of thousands. You called me a pet. And now you want me to stand beside you?" Xyrella's tone hardened. "You have power. I can use it. Together we could burn our enemies to dust." He shook his head. "You don't want me beside you. You want to control me." Her jaw tightened. "And what if I do?" "Then you'll fail," he said simply. Xyrella stepped closer. He could feel her heat now, like standing near a furnace. Her voice softened. "Humans are strange," she whispered. "You fight when you should die. You refuse when you should obey." Liam's gaze didn't move. "That's why we survived when others didn't." She leaned closer, her eyes glowing faintly. "You will obey me. You will protect me. Liam looked straight into her golden eyes and said one word. No. The guards around the room froze. One of them gasped. Zyrella's expression went blank. No, she repeated softly. You can't order loyalty, he said. It's earned. You've done nothing to earn mine. The silence was heavy. Even the torches seemed to dim. Zyrella raised a hand as if to strike him. But before she could, Liam caught her wrist. Gasps echoed. No one had ever touched the princess without permission. For a moment, she just stared at his hand holding hers. Her pulse was fast, but she didn't pull away. Liam slowly let go, his eyes calm. You're not a god, just another soul who thinks she can't bleed. Zyrella's lips parted slightly. Her voice was low. Do you know what happens to those who touch me? I'm guessing they don't get a second chance, he said. She stepped back. And yet, I can't seem to kill you. Her voice trembled, not with fear but confusion. She turned away sharply. Take him back to his quarters, she ordered the guards. No chains. That night, as the guards escorted him through the halls, whispers followed him. The story spread fast. The human touched the princess and lived. Down in the pits, the slaves stopped hiding. They stood taller. And in the upper levels, some guards began to question who truly commanded strength. In her chamber, Zyrella sat before the mirror. Her wrist still tingled where he had held her. She touched the spot slowly. What are you, human? She whispered to her reflection. A weapon? Or a warning? The storm hit at midnight. Lightning cracked across the sky above the palace, but deep below the air stayed still. Liam moved through the forgotten tunnels under the throne room. No one had used these halls in 100 years. The walls were old stone covered in moss and dust. The floor creaked with every step. He held a small torch stolen from a guard's post. Behind him, 2 alien slaves followed. Karn, the horned ex-guard, and Eula, the quiet stable girl who always watched without blinking. How much deeper? Karn whispered. Liam didn't stop walking. Close. They turned a corner and stopped at a wall marked with an ancient symbol, an eye burning from inside a circle. Karn froze. That's royal script. Forbidden. Even nobles won't come here. Liam stepped forward, placed his palm on the symbol, and the wall shifted. Stone split open with a soft grinding sound. Eula gasped. You knew the code? No, Liam said. It knew me. Inside was a wide chamber, round and silent, with strange black stone covering the walls. The torchlight didn't reach the ceiling. In the center was a pod. Metallic. Covered in dust and glowing faint blue lines. Liam approached slowly. His breath was slow, but his chest felt heavy. What is this place? Karn asked. Buried long before Zyrella was born, Liam said. Maybe even before her family took the throne. He touched the pod. It hissed and opened. Inside was a child, or something like a child. Its skin was soft silver. Eyes closed. Wires in its arms. Symbols on its chest. Eula stepped back in fear. That's not alive. Is it? Liam didn't answer. He was staring at the symbol on the child's shoulder. A human sun. Burning inside a ring of alien script. Someone hid this here, he said quietly. On purpose. They didn't want it found. Karn's voice shook. Is it a weapon? Liam looked at the soft rise and fall of the child's chest. No, it's a message. Eula tilted her head. What kind of message? Liam stood slowly, his face serious. That I'm not the first human they tried to break. Later, in the quiet back rooms of the slave quarters, Liam and Karn spread out maps made from stitched cloth. Old plans of the palace tunnels. Too many guards at the main doors, Karn said. But this chamber has an exit path. Hidden under the throne, Liam nodded. We don't fight on their terms. We pull them into the dark. Eula watched from the side. But what about the child? We bring him, Liam said. He's part of this. He might slow us down, Karn warned. Liam looked at the map. Or he might be the reason we win. Meanwhile, in her private chamber, Princess Zyrella couldn't sleep. Her dreams were strange. She saw fire falling from the sky, and in the flames, she saw a shadow, tall, silent human standing at the foot of her throne. He wasn't kneeling. He was holding a child. When she woke, her skin was cold. Her heart raced. She called for her general. "Search the lower tunnels," she ordered. "Seal them if you must." Something's stirring. I can feel it. But it was too late. In the lower depths, Liam and the others were already preparing. Chains melted into makeshift weapons. Slaves practiced in silence. They moved like ghosts, fast, quiet, angry. The plan was simple. Reach the hidden chamber under the throne. Free the others stored in stasis. Escape through the power tunnels. Burn the system from within. But nothing about it was easy, and Liam knew the moment they moved, there would be blood. On the final night before the plan began, Liam stood alone beside the child's pod. He stared at the sleeping face. Then, slowly, he whispered, "You've been waiting longer than I've been alive, but I'm here now, and I won't let them bury you again." Behind him, Karn approached. "The slaves are ready." "Good," Liam said. "What if she stops us?" Karn asked. Liam's eyes stayed on the pod. "Then she'll finally learn what it means," he said, "when a human bites back." The sky was burning. Explosions rocked the towers of the high palace. Flames danced across the royal gardens. Sirens howled like dying beasts, and above it all, Princess Xyrella stood on the top balcony of her warship. Her eyes wide with disbelief. Her city, once proud, once perfect, was falling. Below her, fire rained from the slave pits. Smoke curled from the power tunnels. Screams echoed from her throne room. This wasn't a rebellion. This was a war, and it was led by a human. Hours earlier, before the first blast, Liam stood in the shadows of the lower levels, holding the child from the ancient pod in his arms. The boy had still not opened his eyes, but his heartbeat was strong. "He's waking," Eula whispered. Liam nodded. "He will when it's time." Karn checked his blade, melted from broken chains sharpened against stone. "All exits ready," he said. "Slaves are in position." Liam looked around. Hundreds stood behind him now, different species. Different sizes, once broken, now burning with purpose. "You know the risk," he told them. "We've lived with worse," one old miner said. "You know we might not win. We already are," a cook replied. Liam gave a single nod. Then, he raised the ancient sun-marked banner Eula had sewn from torn cloth. It was simple, just a circle with fire in it, but it made the slaves raise their fists, and then they moved. The first attack hit the eastern power generator. A blast sent green light into the sky. The second wave took out the guard barracks. Doors jammed shut. Smoke bombs rolling in, fighters pouring through vents. By the time Xyrella received word, half her systems were failing. "Seal the upper levels," she shouted. Guards rushed to obey, but the enemy wasn't coming from above. They were already inside. Liam and Karn kicked open the golden chamber doors. They moved like fire through dry grass, quick, silent, deadly. Xyrella's nobles ran. Her generals were missing. Only the royal guard stood now, tall, armored, trained. But even they stepped back when they saw Liam holding the child. Xyrella appeared at the top of the stairs. Her armor glowed. Her crown buzzed with power. She looked like a goddess of war. "You dare bring war to my house?" she growled. Liam stepped forward. "No," he said. "You brought this on yourself." She pointed her spear at him. "I gave you a chance." "No," he said again. "You gave me chains." The battle in the throne room was short but brutal. Guards lunged. Karn roared, swinging his blade wide. Eula rolled smoke bombs across the floor. Liam moved fast, placing the child's pod behind the pillars. As the chaos spread, a soft hum came from the boy's chest. The blue glow returned. And then, the child opened his eyes. Xyrella froze. Her heart skipped. She recognized him. Not the boy himself, but his design, his markings. "This is impossible," she whispered. "Those were erased generations ago." The child blinked, looked straight at her, and smiled. Her knees almost buckled. "What is he?" one of her guards asked. Liam stepped beside the boy. "He's proof," Liam said, "that your bloodline was never the only one. That humans were part of the design. That we weren't slaves. We were your equals." Xyrella screamed and threw her spear. It flew like lightning, but the child raised a hand, and it stopped in midair, frozen, spinning slowly. Then it dropped. The room fell silent. Even the fire seemed to hush. Zyrella stepped back, her voice shaking. He's awake. You don't understand what that means. I do, Liam said. It means your time is over. She turned to flee, but the throne room door slammed shut, locked. Liam walked toward her. Slow, sure. You mocked me, he said. You beat me. You tried to own me. He stopped inches from her, eyes cold, and now I own your throne. Outside, the ships in the sky began to fall back, one by one. They lowered their guns. The slaves were no longer prisoners. They were soldiers, and their leader wasn't just a man. He was the one they believed in. The royal throne room was silent. Ash floated in the air like snow. The gold floors were cracked. The royal banners burned. Guards lay unconscious, their weapons scattered like bones across the marble. And in the center of it, all stood Liam, the human who had once been a slave. Now he stood taller than ever, shoulders steady, his simple shirt torn and stained with smoke. In his eyes, calm, fire, and something else. Control. At the base of the throne, Princess Zyrella knelt. Her crown lay beside her, broken. Her face, once proud and cruel, was pale with defeat. Her lips trembled, but she didn't speak. She didn't need to. The whole galaxy would feel what had happened here. Liam had not just survived. He had conquered. The small, silver-skinned child stood beside him, silent. His glowing blue eyes watched. Zyrella carefully, almost curiously, like he knew her, but did not trust her. He's not a weapon, Liam said softly. Zyrella looked up slowly. Then, what is he? Liam turned to her. He's truth. She shook her head. That boy, he was created during the Age of Silence. He was part of the Unity Project, a blending of species, human and royal. It was outlawed. All the test subjects were erased. Not all, Liam said. Someone hid him down there, waiting for someone like me. Zyrella stared at the child. Her voice was barely a whisper. He has royal blood, Liam nodded, and human fire. The doors opened behind them. Karn stepped in, bruised but smiling. Dozens of former slaves followed, some limping, others helping each other. But their eyes were bright. They had seen something they never dreamed of. A human standing on the throne. Eula ran up to Liam holding a folded cloth. What's that? He asked. She unfolded it. A robe, stitched from torn banners and guard sashes, a symbol. A new one. She smiled shyly. You're our leader now. Liam looked at it, then at the throne. No, he said. Everyone went quiet. Zyrella raised an eyebrow. You've already won. Why hesitate? Liam stepped back from the throne. I didn't come here to rule, he said. I came here to end something. Eula frowned. But who leads us? Liam looked at the child. The boy, glowing faintly, stepped forward. His small hand rose, pointing at the throne, and then at Zyrella. Confused silence filled the air. Liam blinked. Him and her? The boy nodded once. Zyrella stood slowly. You trust me? After everything? No, Liam said. But he does. And that means you get one chance. Karn stepped forward, voice unsure. She might betray us again. Then we'll be watching, Liam said coldly. Zyrella walked to the throne, not as a queen, but as someone learning to kneel first. She placed her broken crown at the boy's feet. Then she looked up at Liam. What do you want now? He looked at the broken glass windows. I want to go home, he said. But I don't know where that is anymore. Outside, the city was quiet. Alien families stepped from hiding places. Lights blinked back to life. Ships that once hovered as threats now lowered in peace. People looked up and saw the new banner. Eyes simple, powerful, unforgettable. A sun burning inside a ring. The mark of the biting human. The one who changed everything. That night in the stars above, Liam stood aboard a scout ship, watching the planet grow smaller in the window. Beside him, The child sat, head resting against his arm. You sure you don't want the throne? Eula asked from the controls. Liam smiled faintly. I think he's got it handled. Karn chuckled. What do we do now? Liam looked at them both. We find others like him, others like us, all the broken ones, the forgotten ones. And then? Eula asked. Liam's eyes narrowed slightly. We make sure no throne ever forgets who put them there. She mocked him, laughed at him, chained him like a dog. But he stood, fought, and now her throne bears human teeth.